Alright, yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy MayFlwr, and as always, hope you guys are having a great day. I am completely aware I look homeless right now. You don't have to roast me in the comments unless you want to. Sometimes it's funny. I'm sure most of you guys have already seen by now. Disciple dropped a huge remix pack, kind of as like a contest. You know, they give you all the stems and they're like, you know, go remix this. And yeah, it has all like a bunch of songs from all the Disciple artists, and yeah, it's been really fun. It's been really cool listening to all the remixes and just, you know, how everyone spun it their own way. I love when things like this are going on. It's really cool to see, you know, the community coming together and kind of doing one thing. So I decided to jump in on the fun there, and I did remix the Eliminate track in the pack. Unintentional rhyming, great start. I chose that one because Eliminate's a really creative artist. I love the original, so when I saw that one in there with the acapella, I don't know, I was just like, gotta do that one. Kind of turned it into this melodic, like future bass song. I don't know. Yeah, that is the idea for today. I'm gonna hop into the project file, try to show you guys around. Maybe I did something cool. I don't know. Yeah, that's the idea. So let's go. Alright, here we go. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably looking at the screen going, what is that? That's almost nothing. And it is. So yeah, as you can see, not a lot going on here. Just kind of like a simple idea. A true rough draft, and it's always cool to go back to these older versions of the project file and kind of, you know, analyze what you did. Started out with the tempo at 128, kind of with the intentions of making like a kind of like a Flume future bass type track, because he has a lot of songs with those kind of lower tempos. So in the beginning of this, it's obviously going to sound a lot worse than the finished project file, but you can still kind of hear those Flume vibes that I was trying to get. And I guess this is where I was trying to find, you know, those kind of Flume vocal chops. And you can hear those right here. So that's enough of this first project file. There's really not too much else to show you guys in this one. So yeah, let's just hop into the actual one now. All right, cool. Now we're in the real project file. Not a bad place, huh? But as always with my finished project files, it always looks more chaotic than it really is, just because I like to draw everything in and see it visually. So a lot of this could be condensed. It's just not. Yeah, a lot of changes, a lot of work from the project file you just saw. So I think we're gonna start out with this intro. Let's see what we got going on here. Come on. Started out with this chord progression right here to match the piano in his original stems. I think his was just playing notes and no chords, so I had to make this kind of around that. Added a vinyl crackle and a little airplane white noise just for some atmosphere. So here's just the drums and the bass on their own. This is the little Future Garage pattern right here. You can get pretty intricate with the hats. As you can see, I was kind of going off of like a burial track. So this is what those sound like on their own. These green ones down here, I believe, are a part of the vocal that I sent through a plugin called Portal. I exported that, chopped it up, and it kind of gave it this cool little background effect to go under the vocals. So yeah, altogether, this little Future Garage intro sounds like this. I'll skip ahead a little bit. This is basically the same thing going on over here. This is kind of the transition after the drop. I came up with this little vocal chop from the original vocal. So I have those vocal chops playing pretty much with just the piano right there. And then when the Future Garage section kind of kicks in again, I drop it down an entire octave. Come on. And then all together, that sounds like this. Come on. Alright, cool. So now I will dial in on this build over here, which is pretty much the simplest part of the entire track. As you can see, it's very minimal, and I even used his build-up snares. Yeah, and I think these plucks right here actually have they have a grow speed on it. The little half speed preset that you see all the rap producers use. Just to explain some of these automations in the build, this is just a low pass filter opening up. In the smile, that's pretty much just a build up plugin to give it some more tension. I have a stereo control going down, so that's making it more mono as the build goes on. And then I have an EQ just cutting off the bass as it goes. So I guess the idea would just be making it more mono, more quiet, cutting off the bass, just so when the drop hits, it's that much harder. Alright, cool. So I guess the next thing to do would be to check out this drop we got here, which has some pretty unique ideas going on. I'll try to show you guys as much as I can. But yeah, let's start out with these drums. Like I said in that first project file, I was kind of inspired by those 128 Flume future bass tracks. So you can definitely hear the influence on these drums. Alright, so I'm sure some of you guys are probably wondering what these pink ones are, and that's actually the sidechain, one that I'm actually using as the sidechain, and one that I'm kind of using as like an effect. With that, I kind of created like a little a wall of sound just by having nothing, and then turning it completely on at this halfway point. And that's what's kind of giving it that delayed like stutter step at the beginning. So we got one hitting right here, and right here on the clap, and that kind of repeats throughout the drop. And yeah, it just gives it like a really unique kind of like future bass flow, I guess you could say. So that's a cool little trick you can try out on your own. That's just Fruity Balance, a little stock plugin for volume. I guess we could look at this this chord stack here. Not the thickest of stacks. It looks like we have 2 actual chord stacks, and we have a sub and a bass, and then 2 top leads. And I think the main thing you're hearing is, yeah, Harmor, just this like super simple little chord preset. I always try to keep it simple with chord stacks. If you end up using like a whole bunch of different types of sounds, it can get really muddy really fast. So I'm keeping it simple like this. I don't know, this is how I do it. I think this bass, yeah, it's just like a Serum, almost stock Serum. In context to the whole drop, that chord stack's actually pretty quiet. The main thing you're hearing is this, which is these like little chord runs that Cthulhu is doing, and those alone sound like this. This is basically a plugin for chords and finding cool ARP sequences. If you watch a lot of deadmau5 live streams, you see him use this a lot. That's how he gets a lot of those cool ARP patterns. Like you can move these around and create one of your own. I just liked mine doing like the basic run, so I just left it as it is. And then I turned this up until I kind of got that that 8-bit effect. It also kind of reminds me of that Point San Holo remix. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but look that up. There's a double Oreo remix San Holo did. It pretty much sounds exactly like. Maybe he used the same technique. I don't know. Regardless, it's pretty cool. All right, sorry boys, I had to make some coffee real quick. Midnight. All right, ideal time for coffee. Let's just stop and appreciate life real quick. Well, that was enough appreciation. Let's get back to work. So this might be the last thing I get to show you guys. It's just kind of this little B section of the drop. I actually like this part a lot. There's some cool stuff going on here. So first of all, I changed up the drum pattern just to give it a more trappy vibe. So I chopped off that original chord and kind of made it into like a stab, and then for the main bass on this part, it's the one from the original track. I just chopped off one of them from the original one. Cool cool thing about this part is this purple automation clip, which is basically just a low pass filter, which is embarrassingly attached to the entire sidechain channel. Kind of a weird thing to do, but I guess it worked. So everything is literally being sent into here, and I'm automating this cutoff. Literally everything's going in there. The sub, this chord stack, his bass, the bass I put in there, and it's all coming together just as kind of like one thing. Also ran into some problems with the low end on that part, just because everything's kind of being shoved through that plugin. So I had to make a separate sub and make the same automation clips for it. So that's what these are down here. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting, I guess. I'm kind of going over time here, but let's go to the second drop just for one last thing. I did change up the drums on this first part. I kind of did like a 4 to the floor type thing. I can play it for you real quick. I did the same thing with those automations. I just made it fit with the 4 to the floor beat. And to be honest, in retrospect, I'm not really happy with this kick right here. It sounded good like inside the project file, but then when I mastered it, and in my car, it kind of sounds like too like jungle-like. I don't know. I could have been a little more tight. That's just one of those things you kind of notice after. Can't really change it now. Whatever. It's all right. So that's about it. I think I kind of covered everything that's worth zooming in on this project. Hope you guys can take something from this video and use it in your own track or whatever. Also, if you guys made a remix of this same song, send it to me. I'd love to hear it. But yeah, that's about all I have time to say. Let's cue the outro. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and or learned something. These little recap videos are pretty easy for me, so if you guys like these, let me know in the comments and I could definitely, go over some more tracks of mine. Also, let me know down below what kind of videos you guys want to see on the channel next. I'm down for anything. Just think of something cool, throw it down there. I'll try to read it. If you guys ever have any questions or just want to say what's up, feel free to DM me on Instagram or Twitter. I'm always checking those. I love talking about music. I love listening to y'all's tracks. So if you have anything to say, feel free to try to contact me. I'm pretty easy to reach. But yeah, other than that, I think that is gonna do it for today's video. I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.